Hope you're all fierce. Welcome to The Performer's Path, the podcast where we delve into the highs and lows of the performance industry and beyond. If it's using your creative juices for onstage, in auditions, or those in-between jobs, we discuss it all with real people in the industry who've been there and got the t-shirt as a gift. By discussing audition, rejections and success, we're taking away the fear of the unknown whilst also giving vital tips for success. So let's tread the boards together in this week's episode. In our third and final episode with George, he discusses the importance of a support network, your role and their role in the network, and strategies of how to support them through success and rejections. What's your role in that support network?
I think you're recognising each other when they need support, encouraging them when they've got a big audition coming up. I find that when someone's got a big audition, they mention it to me. It's not to do the, oh my God, that's going to be amazing. I don't do that. I feel like that's a lot of energy at them. I just try to be like, oh, that's nice. Oh, you're going to be in the room. Okay, that's great. Like, is this your first time seeing them? What have you got planned? I try and do it as a whole, like help them with their prep as opposed to just throw excitement at them. And then when I know they're going in, I always send them a message being like, have fun, be yourself. That's the number one thing I say to people, is because they're hiring you as the person as well as the actor or dancer. So, and if they like you, they want to work with you. You know, if you're walking with a smile on your face, they're gonna notice that. So, yeah, I think we've definitely got a thing where we try and support like each other. And even if, for example, like Claire, she drags me to the most obscure musical theatre sometimes. And I'm a bit like, I just want to go and see Wicked for the 17th time. But I know that she's getting something out of it. And then Claire's not a ballerina, but she comes to watch me at the ballet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's lovely. And what about being there for their rejections?
Just being like, oh, I think, again, it's the whole, I try not to go into the whole, oh, do you know who did get it? I don't even go there. Because I'm like, again, they go straight into being, they picked them over me. Why didn't they pick it over me? So I just do the whole thing of, oh, maybe next time. Yeah, I was like, it's the first time they've seen you. Like, that's great. You like they've seen you and you've gotten so far. Like, that's amazing. I try and look at it as that way. I was like, you don't know what project they're doing next. Like, they could be doing something else and they know your face now. They might think you weren't right for this, but what, you could be right for their next thing.
Did you have anybody who really supported you and you see as a mentor?
As a teacher, I think all the teachers at Hammond were really nurturing. Anthea was incredible. She definitely looked after me the entire... she picked me. So, it's good to know that there's someone like fighting in your corner, like that's a good feeling. Because it also it's the pressure of like, you want to then do them proud because, they've also like spent time on you, and that's really valuable time. Like, especially when there's a class of 30, Miss Eccleston, like Chrissy Eccleston-Toohey, she was like a mum for me. Incredible woman. And like, I'm still in touch with her daughters. Like, I talk to them all the time. And yeah, I think, because I also think they saw me for like, I think they appreciated my like work ethic. I didn't come into my training being like the best. I think I was that dancer that had to work hard. And I knew that. I knew I had like a huge like mountain to climb, and I think they appreciated that I was aware. I knew that and I wanted that, and I continually worked on it. I also wasn't one of them dancers that ever expected praise either. I didn't expect the good, like, you're doing a good job, but I was always the dancer that wanted the, no, George, like, that's not good. And I think they appreciated that too. But that's also what I responded to. Like, I responded to the whole like, you're going to turn out your supporting leg because it looks a mess. That kind of like just reality. I needed it, Yeah. And then I never really looked at male dancers, to be honest. Especially in classical ballet, I think sometimes it's that very like heteronormative, which is ironic considering it's men in tights. It's very them kind of narrative. So I never saw myself like in them. I'd gravitated towards the female dancers because also I was a dancer that had high extensions and facility. And that's what you saw in female ballerinas. So I was definitely like, oh, that's me. Not the one who's doing 7,000 pirouettes. And then as I got older, it was more towards like the queer identifying dancers. So like Edward Watson was a massive muse for me when I was growing up, who was principal at Royal Ballet. Like, I was always make sure that I'd go and see the shows that he was on. And
I've got two people here who you're an inspiration to them. Okay.
Aww.
Two students in the grad year, both of which have had experience of burnout. And the struggle's real and it's constant.
Yeah.
And have felt like their love of dance had left them, but they've come back to it now. Is it okay if they ask you a few questions, George?
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away.
Okay, come on, boys. And you come. He's not scary. He's lovely, and he's got a lovely jumper on and all.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
nice.
scary, I promise.
So my first question is, when did you realize in training that you thought like, oh, I could go far with this and I could do something amazing?
I don't think in training I had that. Well, I think in training you never feel like you're guaranteed to get a job. I think sometimes I think you just in training, there's like a lot out there, and there's so many dancers in different colleges. So I think in training I didn't think personally. I was like, oh, I have these plans to make it in this massive ballet company and like tour the world. I think my teachers did. Like I definitely think the teachers saw it in me, but I think I had that. I would have been happy with doing like it was just be working. So I was kind of expecting, I just wanted to work. I didn't care what it was. So, and I think, but my projects have got bigger and bigger and bigger. So your dreams kind of change once you've done something. You kind of think, oh, I've done that. I can tick that off the list. And it's always like, wait, what's next? Kind of like a self-motivation thing, as opposed to like, well, I'm going to be the best of the best of the best of the best. I think that's kind of an impossible task now. Yeah.
What advice can you give to somebody to help them get noticed in an audition room? And like, what did you do to get yourself noticed when you were doing auditions?
Being positive is huge. I think walking into the audition, again, with quiet confidence, smiling, looking at everybody who's on the panel in the face and in the eyes, that's huge because, they want to see who they're going to work with. They're investing time in you. So, and they want to see also if you're easy to work with. So if you walk in with like an attitude of like you're this like diva who should be given the job, it's kind of off-putting. And I've been that person where I've been sat on not an audition panel, but I've been like adjudicating at like various colleges for like their assessments or competitions, and you see it straight away, in people's energy when they walk into the room. So I would say make sure that you make the effort to look at everybody in the eyes, and then after the audition, just going up to them and being like, just thank you for seeing me. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, I've really enjoyed today. Yeah.
What was the key thing or like thought you had like on a daily basis which got you to go for it every day and just like be the best you can be every day?
I'm going to take an example like the days when you wake up and your body's a bit sore, and maybe the day before you didn't have like the best training, you weren't like on it. I think just getting up and thinking today will be better, I think is enough, even if it's like not just waking up and having that like thought process of today is going to be like different, and try not to take things from the day before into the next day. I think that's quite a bad mantra to do. You find ways of coping. So again, like as I said before, like journaling, writing down things. Even if I get a note, I'll write it down because it just helps me keep it in my brain a bit longer. For example, if I get a note for the shows, if I write it down, when it comes to me doing it in the next show, that correction's like already there. Yeah. I think you always have to be easy to get out the day that you get out of the day what you want to. So for example, if I wake up and I'm sore, I know that day is not going to be for like pushing the extensions or the technique. It'll be for the day of just trying to get my body feeling good. And it doesn't mean that you're not working as hard. It just means that you're working like differently.
What makes working like with Matthew Bourne and in a Matthew Bourne company different from the other companies that you've worked at?
So very different dynamic. So in classical ballet companies, it's very much you're hired for the year. In that year, you do maybe 8 productions. So if you're, for example, performing Sleeping Beauty at night, that's your season. During the day, you'll be rehearsing Nutcracker for Christmas. And in that casting, you'll be down for 8 roles. So you'll be learning like 8 roles during the day for Nutcracker, as performing different roles every night for Sleeping Beauty. Where with New Adventures and Matthew Bourne, you're hired for that specific show. So, for example, I was hired for Swan Lake, so I've been doing Swan Lake for the last year and a half. So during the day, I'm not rehearsing for the next piece because we don't know what that is yet, or I'm maybe not be doing it, or I could be going on for something else. It doesn't. You just don't know. So during the day, we're rehearsing and cleaning up the show that we've been performing for the last year, or getting new people into the show because members have left or there's been an injury. So that's different. Also, I've been around ballerinas for the last 10 years. So then to go into like new adventures and you're seeing dancers that are from all different types of training. Yes, there are ballerinas, but they're also like the most insane contemporary dancers that I look at and I'm like, if I try to do that, I would like get a back spasm or I won't be able to get off the floor. Otherwise, like there'll be these musical theatre people and you can hear them next door in the dressing room like singing. And I'm like, my God, like they can sing to high heavens, and you see some people and like you scroll their Instagram and they've just been in like a hip hop show or they dance with like some like pop star. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. It's definitely different. I'm inspired by different areas of the industry now, I think, as opposed to in ballet companies where I just had like my bun head on.
So obviously you went training since 11, full-time training, which is the same with me and Hayden. And now in our final year, and we're just like praying that everything pays off and we can just get something.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, how does it feel to know that it like all paid off?
Yeah, I mean, I know that feeling that you are feeling right now. It's really scary. I think you feel like you've been thrown in the deep end a little bit, like of the unknown. I think looking back, I just wish I had a bit more faith into me getting work. I mean, it's so easy for me to say that now because I have been working for the last like 12 years. So, it's so easy for me to just say that casually, like it's nothing. But even now I'm like, I have to have faith, like that I've got something coming and something else coming. And I think, whether you've got it in you to like keep pushing, even if you get like you could be a year before you get work, you just don't know, or you could get work within the next week of you graduating. So you just need to know that like you're not the only people that are in the same position as you. Even if you're looking for work, there are also other people looking for work that are feeling the same way. Don't feel like the industry's just being like down on you. Yeah.
You feel like that, don't you?
Yeah.
That is a thing that you start to feel like. I mean, especially in your final year of training as well, and you go, oh my God, are you kidding me? All this stuff I've got to do. Yeah, it's crazy. You're meant to feel like that.
Also network. Like don't be scared to network. Like you have to speak to people. Like you're not going to get noticed or seen if you like don't say hello and introduce yourself at like classes at Pineapple to people. You know what I mean?
My last question is, what advice would you give to students that are going to start auditioning and starting to move into the industry?
Do research at what you're auditioning for, because it's so easy just to say, oh, there's an audition for this, and then you go, but you don't actually know what it's for or like who you're working with. I've been to auditions sometimes and like I've been called for an interview afterwards after I've got like down to the final 5 boys, and then in the interview they say like, oh, what made you want to audition for here? And in the reality I'm like, because I need a job. You know what I mean? But you have to be like, oh, I love your choreography, I love the repertoire. I found it really interesting when you had this guest artist come in, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do research as to what you're auditioning for, who you're speaking to, what projects they've already done, because you can even be like, oh, I really wanted to work with you because I really enjoyed you in this, or when you staged this, or don't just be like, because I'm desperate for a job and I'll take anything, because that's just not very desirable to the choreographer or the director that you're working with.
Girl gotta eat.
Yeah, exactly. I've got rent to pay, so.
All right, that's it for another episode. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And wherever you are on your performer's path, stay safe and sane, and let your creative light shine bright on whatever you do.